Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching Wellness Week, and I'm your host, DJ Tony. How you doing? So today's episode, how to beat stress. Ma que cats. Okay, so stress. We all have it. We all get it. It's part of being human. But what can we do to manage it? Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you any healthcare advice. Always check with your healthcare professional, your doctor, etc. This is just my opinion on how I handle stress. So always check with your healthcare professional. Okay, so stress. Now, I think it's easy for us to throw up our hands and be like, everyone's got stress. I don't even know. I don't care. I think that's fait accompli. I think we need to do better in managing our stress. And I want you to be healthy. I want to be healthy. So I got some tips. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Okay. So what can we do to manage stress? Again, and it's not gonna go away. It's part of life, but we can manage it. And maybe sometimes we can beat it and make it go away. But at the minimum, we can manage it. It doesn't have to be backbreaking and killing us. Now, so here are my tips. So the first thing we can all do to manage our stress better, number one, sleep and quality sleep. I don't care if you're sleeping 2 seconds, 2 hours, 10 hours, whatever. It's the quality of that sleep that is equally important as getting to sleep. Because you could be laying in the bed for 10 hours, but you're not asleep. You're on the phone. You're not lights out. So generally speaking, they say, they mean the healthcare industry, 8 hours is the sweet spot. I understand you're busy and you have a job. Nobody else has that. Anyways, but it's incumbent upon us, you and I, to really put that at the premium, So make a schedule. Do your best. If you can't get 8, get 7. You can't get 7, get 6. You can't get 6, get 5. Whatever you can get, and make sure it's quality sleep, meaning lights out, no TV, no phone, no nothing. Just go to sleep. Keep the room at maybe even a little chillier temperature, possibly. Again, it's up to you, however you find your sleep best. But getting good quality sleep is number one for managing stress. Number one. So I understand. Just you do your best. There's more tips coming. So sleep is number one. That's the best thing to fight stress. Now, what is stress though, too, right? That's the other thing. I always wonder, what the hell is stress? So I guess stress is kind of like an invisible thing in a way. I mean, you have people that'll say, well, the cortisol from our cortisol from our adrenal glands that sit on top of the kidneys. Yes, cortisol, but cortisol is actually in our bodies to help us fight stress. It manages a lot of different things like sugar and things like that. So the cortisol debate or argument, I don't know that I'm totally sold on. I think cortisol is more an indication that you have stress. It doesn't necessarily cause the stress. That's my read on it. But again, you do you. But stress is a feeling, right? And our body reacts to it. It's a flight or flight. So sometimes, not sometimes, our body doesn't know the difference between getting chased by a lion and I'm having a bad day at work. Our body responds in many ways the same, whether the lion's chasing you or your boss is chasing you, so to speak. Our bodies react the same. And that's not a good thing if there's not a lion, So we have to really kind of, again, go and managing it. So sleep was number one. The other thing I would say is talk, a therapist. Now before you say, oh, I got the kind of money. You got money for sneakers. You got money for cigarettes. You got money for liquor. You got money for going out with the boys and girls. You got money for a vacation. You got money for a therapist. I highly recommend either Talkspace or BetterHelp. I'm not being sponsored by them. I don't care. Don't use them. Whatever. But talking to someone really matters. I understand you got your boo that you talk to, but I'm talking about a third-party professional. Is it going to cure you? No, it's not. But again, it's another tool in the tool chest. So therapist, a coach, a priest, an imam, a rabbi, someone you can speak to, and most of it's free help out there, but to be quite honest, there's no excuse. You can call even 988, nationwide 3-digit number, and that will patch you through to a therapist if you're really feeling, God forbid, in really bad danger, but it's free. So talk would be number two, to really have someone that you can talk to. And it's great if you have a husband or a wife or a boyfriend or girlfriend or a friend or an acquaintance. That's good. But you want to have a therapist, I would say, a coach. So that's number two on my list of how to, whip stress's ass. Okay. The other thing I would say is what you eat. What you eat can contribute to stress and can contribute to dealing with stress. So vegetables and fruits, fruits and vegetables all day long. You got to get off of the processed carbs, the cake, the cookies, the bread, the pizza, the bagels, the lollipops, the chocolate, the candy, the juicy drinks, no iced tea, the orange juice is garbage, all sugar. Soda's absolute garbage. Diet soda, even worse. You might as well drink battery acid. But these are things that are going to make you more stressed when you do get stressed, because sugar, and everything turns to sugar, but direct sugar like alcohol, like pasta, like bread, that turns right into sugar. And that sugar is not going to help you. It's going to make you more stressed. So if your stress level's already at a 9, that crap I just read off to you, the bread, the pasta, the sugar, the cake and cookies and cereals, that's going to hit you, take you over to 10, 11, 12. So vegetables, you need fiber, and fruits are going to help manage stress. And you should be doing that as part of a daily diet. But anyways, the other thing I would say is omega-3 fatty acids. So that is your avocados, avocado oil, that's your salmon, that is your walnuts. Omega-3 is a very essential nutrient because it's a product that we can consume through food that really kind of puts a buffer around our nerves. It's kind of like the oil for a car or a machine. Omega-3 fatty acids are the oil for our bodies. The more we consume of that, the better we can handle stress. So it kind of coats the nerves and the arteries and the veins and the muscles, and it really is a protective coating. Omega-3 fatty acids, again, your salmon, your avocado, I believe almonds, your walnuts, things like that. Very, very important to have daily. Even if you're not feeling stressed, get into the habit. The other thing I would say is positive people, man. If you're hanging around shitheads, you need to out. Now, I understand sometimes shitheads live in our family, so we can't just, kick them out. But do the best that you can do, or I do the best I can do to manage my exposure to them. I always try to keep a healthy distance. If I have to deal with them, I will. But typically, yeah, if I don't, I won't. I just won't hang out with those people. I'll stay away from negative Nellies. You don't need that even on a good day, especially if you're stressed. So don't feel bad about, hey, listen, I got a lot going on. I just need some alone time or whatever. Again, negative people, no. And I understand you can't always, tweezer them out of your life, but manage it best you can, because that's a big one. That can really bring you a lot of stress. I think that's probably where a lot of stress comes from, right? Our relationships or bad relationships. The other thing I would say is, well, you want to obviously try and sell positive people, but I would also say romance, you know what I mean? Romance will help you alleviate stress. And I would even make the argument, it doesn't even have to be the deed per se, but even just hugging, holding hands, there's the power of touch is very, very important. So just being with that person that you love, and it could be romantic or not, it could just be, giving someone a hug. Hey, I love you. That releases a lot of positive feel-good hormones or endorphins, so it's a very powerful way that release those feel-good chemicals in our body that fight stress. Okay, moving down the list. I would say, join a club or get out of the house, get away from the desk, so be a part of something. Again, this is another people connection, being part of your church group, your synagogue group, your mosque group, your municipalities group, volunteering more than just once a year, try to make it once a week if you can, the more you do that, the better you feel about yourself. Again, releasing the good hormones, the good endorphins in our body. So that's important to fight stress. Down the list, excuse me, I would also say, breathing. That might sound like, but breathing is important. So in through the nose, out through the mouth, simple breathing like that, just a deep breath, and a succession of deep breaths, just breathing, like that really can help lower, cortisol and things in our body that can be stress indicators or stress itself, just regulating that heartbeat, so breathing, deep breathing, very important. I would also say on my other list here is that stay away from negative thoughts. I'm somebody that has a ton of negative thoughts. I'm always kind of like, everything's a catastrophe in my mind when it's really not. But, I'm always like, is a meteor going to hit me? Like that. So like try to gently bring your mind back to positive things. It doesn't matter what it is. Oh, wow, that time at the beach, or like the sun is out. This is great. Oh, it's going to be a great day. Or I'm looking forward to lunch, or I'm looking forward to seeing that show tonight. Like, keeping your mind positive. When negative comes in, gently, just don't beat yourself up, but just positive thinking, as much as you can. Again, nothing's a silver bullet, but it's going to help you. Okay, moving on. I would say the also big one is massage therapy. If you can join, you can buy memberships at a lot of these places, like a Massage Envy, and I'm not promoting them, but I'm just saying, like, a place, whatever, that, again, going back to touch, it's very powerful. So having a massage is very relaxing, and that it can be good. And then that might get expensive, but if you can do that, or maybe do the massage for someone that's in your life, whatever it may be, but massage is important, no doubt. I just got a massage a couple of days ago, and I always forget, like, yeah, this is really good. I gotta do more of this, So massage, another way to fight stress. Cold shower, actually. Cold shower has been proven to boost your immune system, boost immune function. Now, I'm not saying, liquid nitrogen, but like, what I'll do is I'll go in the shower and I'll set the temperature lower, not ice, but lower cold for like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever, and then back to the hot shower. So that's something that, kind of like wakes you up a little bit, but can help actually also assist in just getting your mind off of stuff and just breathing and being in that moment. So cold shower, big fan of it. It doesn't have to be 9 hours long. The other thing I would say is gratuity, or being grateful. I always try to start off every day or at some point in the day and say, I'm going to be grateful for 10 things today. It doesn't matter. I can say, oh, I'm grateful for my dog. I'm grateful for the good weather. It doesn't have to be I have a yacht. You know what I mean? But when you get in that mindset of, being grateful for things, that makes you happy. It's like, well, I do have a lot, So that's another thing I would say to help fight stress. The other thing I would say is the music we listen to. If you're listening to music that's negative, that's always about, drugs and death and negative stuff and hurt and pain. I mean, there's a place for that, but if that's your go-to, if that's your use, that's only going to contribute to stress. So I personally try to listen to upbeat music, music that brings me back to my childhood, or even I listen to a lot of classical music, a lot of Beethoven, Ravel, Mozart, stuff like that. Not all day long, but again, the adage is true. Music calms the beast. So what we listen to, and that also goes for news. I like to say noise. If you're always listening to news, if it's in the background on the television or the radio, that's just drip, 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 negative, 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 negative. I mean, so my thing with news, or as I say, the noise, I say to myself, I'm guilty. Sometimes I go longer than this, but I try to do 5 minutes of news a day, and that's it. Get what I need to get, the big headlines, cool, done. If something massive is going to happen, we're all going to find out about it. It does, you know what I mean? I don't need to be watching every second. So I turn the news off in the background. I don't listen to the news. I get my 5 minutes, and if there's something big that's going to happen or happened, my friends are going to text me. You're going to hear about it. You know what I mean? So get rid of the news. The news is noise, and it's always negative, and that's by choice. The news programmers want you to see negative, because there's babies being born today. Why don't they report on that? They only report on people dying. But why not life? Somebody's arbitrarily picking that. So it's always negative. Stay away from news if you want to control stress better. All right. The other thing I would say is that, social media. I love social media, but let's be honest. Most social media is look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, 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 me. I'm on vacation. I have this car. I got this boyfriend. I got this girlfriend. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And then you're looking at this and you're thinking like what you don't have. So social media, more often than not, can make you subconsciously just feel down because it's a pissing match on social media. So I'm not saying get rid of it, but you can do that. But limit your time. Like I'll say to myself, okay, I'm only going to do a half hour a day, or I'm only going to do a half hour today, or I'm only going to do an hour today. And if you break from it, you break from it. But at least have a map, so that will help your stress too. No questions about that. All right. The other thing I would say is write it down. Keep a journal, a log. If you're a manly man, I don't do journals. The girls do that. All right. Well, then, just writing something down that, like this pissed me off today. And then you can crumble up and throw it out, whatever. But the mechanism of writing it down is almost like releasing it, So I find that helpful, and I encourage you to try it. Can't hurt to try it. It's free. So write it down. I oftentimes will do that. That's a great stress reliever. The other thing I would say is say it out loud. Affirm yourself. Today's going to be a great day, or I'm grateful for. So when you do gratuity and you're grateful for things, say it. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my dog. I'm grateful for. Say it. I'm a good person. I love my family. Like your body needs to. Your mind works like that. It's almost like two separate entities. So when you say it, it registers in your brain versus if you just think it. So audibly say it. Whatever it is that's going to be positive, say it to yourself as much as you like. So. I would also say religion, going to church or mosque or synagogue or temple, if that works for you. For me, it depends. Like sometimes religion brings me more stress going to church than if I don't go. So, measure that out. But for a lot of people, it brings peace, and that's awesome. And I say it does for me sometimes too. Just being in church or whatever your faith belief is. You don't have to be the Mother Teresa, but rely on your belief systems. I find that can be helpful to help reduce stress. And again, you don't have to go to the Vatican. I mean, you go to your local church or wherever, it's temple or mosque. So the other thing I would say is yoga, which is essentially physical meditation. I'm not some yogi. I'm not some yoga master, but I will do yoga every day, even if it's just for 1 minute. Just getting into a pose, just focusing on nothing, just clear mind and breathe, so things like that can help. Again, I'm not saying all of these things are going to help you. You cherry pick what works for you, but you have to try. You can't just be like, I don't know, I'm just stressed. Notice how I'm not mentioning pharmaceutical medication. Now, again, follow your doctor and healthcare professional, but pharmaceuticals, especially the antipsychotics when it comes to stress, all medications have side effects. So, unless you're like, you can't get out from underneath your bed and you're about to lose your job and your house and your whole family, maybe look into medicine. I'm not against pills, but notice none of these are that. So, okay, moving on. So I would say meditation is important. Now, meditation, a lot of people think like I have to be like just hum and be hanging from the ceiling. No, you can just go for a walk outside and be quiet. No music. That's meditation. So meditation is just coming into your center, just quiet. And a lot of times, me going for a walk, I get that cleanse. Comedy, I find that laughter is the best medicine. So going on YouTube or watching a movie or watching part of a movie or seeing a funny TikTok video, I find a lot of dog videos and those cat videos make me laugh. And just silly humor. Laughing also releases endorphins and other feel-good chemicals. So that's important to laugh if you can every single day. There's always something to laugh about. I would say exercise. We know that for a fact. Exercise helps our immune system, helps our stress level. Again, no one's saying you have to run a marathon, but getting vertical for a minimum of an hour a day, even if it's just a walk, walking in place. Could be going to the gym, could be whatever, cycling, swimming, whatever, but getting that hour. There's no excuse why you can't get, some kind of movement every day. That's also going to help your stress level. We know that's the scientific fact. I find reading books too. Reading books takes me away, or reading an ebook, whatever. You're focusing on that story. Unlike television where it's kind of mindless, but reading requires you to be vested and be in and fully in. So that definitely takes me away, and could be reading anything, but it takes me away. So I find reading is great. Reading a book, not a quick article, but a book. I would say your pets, we all know for a scientific fact, dogs and cats release endorphins. They release the feel-good chemicals. They help us to lower our heartbeat and our stress levels. So dogs are great. If you're allergic, you can get a cat. If you're allergic to that, you can get a goldfish. You can get a turtle, honestly. So anything that is going to require you to take care of something that, even if it's just a tiny little fish or something, a bird, like that's going to help you. Again, it's about stacking odds into your favor. I would say don't make it about you, which is about the pet, right? When it's all about, oh, look at me, poor me, me. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to be stressed. I'm not saying you shouldn't have alone time and me time, but when it's overly about you, your life's going to be miserable just in general. So when you make it about or partially make it about something else or someone else, you forget about your stress because you're worried about that person or that thing or that task you have to take care of daily. So, not making it about you and about others, ironically, lowers that stress level, lowers that sadness level. Um, I would also say getting outside, getting out in Mother Nature. You don't have to live in Montana. I mean, anywhere you live, just get out and just breathe in the air. Looking, there's bushes, there's a tree, there's some grass, there's birds. We know scientifically, again, as a fact, that lowers, excuse me, cortisol. That helps us regulate our stress hormones by just getting outside. Okay. Going for a walk or even just getting in the backyard or looking at the window, opening up, getting that fresh air. Excuse me. I would say also scents, smells. You can do essential oils. You can do everything. That nowadays has a scent to it, whether it be hand soap or hand cream. Or I'm a big fan of those Glade scented candles. It brings me back to whatever. Again, not a cure all, but you're layering. So it's like yeah, it smells nice. Whatever it may be, lavender or vanilla, totally worth the dollar and change. Volunteering is huge. Going back to what I was saying, not making your life about you, me, 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 me. Getting out there, volunteering. Ask friends. Ask your work. Ask your house of worship. Call your Borough Hall Community Center. How can I help? And don't tell me you don't have time. We all have family. We all have work. We all work hard. Stop. Okay. The other thing I would say is, quitting your job if it's toxic, if you can, or lowering your hours or whatever. So that's another big one. I always say it's who you are with and what you do for a living. Those are two things that are going to make or break you. So, if you can leave a job and okay, you'll make less money, but if you can cover your bills and stuff and you're going to be happier making less money, go for happiness. Don't worry about the money. As long as you can cover your ends, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's, but you have to really look at yourself and say, am I addicted to the money, to the nice things, but I'm miserable? It's no good. So quitting your job, make sure you have something lined up, but is another way to, big way to get the stress or lower the stress. The other thing I would say that works for me is once a week or so, giving yourself a treat. Like I bought a pack of M&Ms today. I don't eat that. That's garbage. But I was like, you know what? This week, that's my treat, and it boosts your mood. It's a comfort food of sorts, I'm not saying live on it, but because it is can contribute to stress actually because of all the sugar in there. But I won't even eat the whole thing. I'll just have like 2 or 3 and I'll kind of like space it out throughout the week. You know what I mean? Just a little treat of sorts, a little thumbs up of sorts. So you need that. I would say though too is you can, I don't know. I mean, for me, I'm not against people smoking pot or the CBD stuff. I mean, but I would maybe consult a professional about that. I know a ton of people that I know, they smoke pot, they love it. Cool. You do you. But I would be it is a drug and, you can't be operating heavy machinery and stuff like that under the influence of marijuana. But I get it. I would say of the stuff out there, if you're getting, legal marijuana, it's probably better for you than some of the pharmaceutical crap in there that's out there in the pill form, pills. So, but that could be another way to release stress as long as it's not coming in the way of you and paying bills and your obligations, you do you. There could be another show, CBD and THC and all that jazz. But the other thing I would say is dump her. If you're not married, but you got a girlfriend or a boyfriend or even a fiance, it ain't working out. Do you need this? Grab your, end it. Listen, honey, you're the best, but I'm sorry. It's not worth it. And it's not worth it for you. And it's not worth it and fair to the other person. If you're both miserable, what are you doing? And so it's easier said than done. I know I've been there. I'm not a baby, but it feels good when you know that, hey, the person's a great person, but we're not for each other. It's a nice feeling like, okay, cool. Like that stress is gone. And I'm not talking about like, maybe it's bad timing. I'm talking about if the relationship is toxic, you know what I mean? So it's better to, part ways than to prove a point to who, so if you can, and it's not working out for you, dump him or her. And I say that with respect, not to be facetious, but the other thing I would say is OTC stuff like Advil or Tylenol. I'm not, again, a fan of taking any kind of drugs if I don't have to, but Advil or Tylenol can help reduce some symptoms of stress, can, bring down aches and stuff like that. So that can help. I wouldn't be on it every day, but it's another tool in the tool chest. So that's something that I do once in a while, maybe once a week. I'll take a Advil or a Tylenol um, to help with just like, oh man, I'm achy because of the stress or whatever like that, and that definitely takes the edge off. I would also say no alcohol. You shouldn't be drinking alcohol ever, but alcohol is the absolute worst thing if we have stress. Forget it. Don't do it. I know you're thinking, oh no, it makes you feel good. It's pure sugar, and sugar ruins the body when it comes to stress. So alcohol is a big no, especially if you're under acute stress. And I'm not saying don't have a toast, don't drink for New Year's. I'm not saying that, but yeah, it shouldn't be part of your regimen. And a lot of people do. They use it to unwind, but it's actually doing the opposite. It's destroying your liver, your kidneys, your spleen, your bone, your muscle. It's not helping. But obviously don't smoke. But and I would say, watch the sugar, the sweet drinks, the processed carbs, anything that's going to have direct sugar, processed sugar, because everything turns into sugar at some point. But like, again, anything with flour, candies, alcohol, junk food, sodas, fried foods, these are all things that are going to ruin your nerves. They're going to make you feel more stressed. Okay. So you really want to put in good quality fuel into your body. Again, the omega-3 fatty acids, vegetables all day long, fruits, water. Drinking water will greatly help you with your stress. It almost calms the fire down in our bodies. So these are the tips that I do to help me out. And again, you're not going to never ever be able to have zero stress every single day, or some days might be more stressful than others. But at least you have some stuff in the toolbox. Let me try this, let me try that. And a lot of this stuff that I'm mentioning, you really kind of have to do as a pattern. It can't be just like, I never do it, but today I'm feeling stressed. I'm breathing. Oh, it ain't working. You got to be fair to yourself. I mean, it has to be daily as a practice. You know what I mean? Daily as a practice, you're having omega-3s, and you're drinking water, and you're going for a walk every day, and you're talking to people every day. This is the pattern. You put the good fuel in the body, in the mind. You're listening to common music. You have a routine. That's going to help you over the long term versus just like, I don't do shit, but when I'm stressed, what? My God, omega-3 ain't doing shit for me. It doesn't work like that. It takes time. It takes days and weeks. But if you can take some of this from the list and impart it and utilize it for your life, no doubt you'll handle stress better. You'll have less stressed episodes. So that's the big thing. But anyway, so I hope it helps you. I know I'm always struggling with stress management and always looking for new ways to manage my stress naturally, preferably, But anyways, thanks everybody for checking in. And don't forget, share it with your friends and family, and check back in. We got another great bunch of shows coming up. I know you can do it. You can manage your stress. I'm getting out of here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ciao.